All right, so today I'm actually kind of excited to take a look at one of the Wampler collective series that they've done. They put out the Phenom Distortion and the Triumph Overdrive, I believe it is, and yeah, they're both pretty cool. I haven't tried the Overdrive just yet. I got this one here recently, and they both sit right about the $99-$100 price range. And I will say that just based on the ratings, it does look like the Triumph has a little bit of a higher rating on average than the Phenom does, but I was kind of into the idea of the way that this is set up. I know that they said that it's kind of supposed to be like a 5150 like kind of pedal, which I don't know that I completely agree with, and I don't want this to turn into a review or anything of stuff like this, but I am glad that I got the chance to play around with it and wasn't doing just like some kind of unboxing first impression video, because at first when I plugged it in and tried it, I wasn't really sure. I mean, it's doing the thing that it said it was going to, but I've played through 5150 amps quite a bit, and I'm pretty familiar with the feel and the setup of those, and I just wasn't sure that I was getting that from this. And for one, like the 5150 has a completely different setup than this would have, where it would be, like your typical amp, kind of like what I have on the Simplifier, where all the way left is 0, and then all the way to the right, clockwise, would be 10. This is a little different than that. So the EQ section is active, which means that when it's straight up like this, it's actually not boosting and not cutting anything with your signal. As you turn to the left, you're actually cutting treble, mid, or bass, and as you turn to the right, you're boosting those frequencies. So this is supposed to be, it gives me the idea that with everything facing up, it should be, a pretty usable distortion there, which it is. So I can crank up the gain a little bit more. I can cut the gain down, and you hear there's a little bit of noise in there. It would be nice to maybe run this with an overdrive, or not with an overdrive, a noise gate, or something where I can kind of control that, like have that cut off. Typically when I'm using a 5150 amp, though, to be honest, if I'm not actually playing, then I am staying on that foot switch to toggle that off. So not a huge deal with that, but it is a little bit noisy. It does have this bright switch, but on this particular guitar, which is a LTD MH1001 with active EMG pickups, I really feel like it doesn't need the bright. Maybe if it was on a darker guitar, I might want to flip that. But let's mess around with the EQ a little bit now. So I've got the bass, so I can boost, or I can cut. I feel like it's more obvious when you're cutting it. I should point out on the Simplifier, I'm running it pretty straight, the way that I do for most of this stuff, where it's the Marshall preamp and power amp, pretty much straight up on the both the gain stages and EQ, resonance and presence all the way up, and then the greenback speakers in 412. And then I'm running in stereo too. So let's boost the treble. So even when it's cut, it's still pretty usable. Let me boost it just a little bit. Let's try that mid-range. So to me, while the controls on this are very flexible, it's not like it's taking you from one sound to another. It's really just helping you to dial in your guitar, whichever guitar it is, whether it's a Telecaster, Stratocaster, Les Paul, active pickups, single coil, humbuckers, whatever. Just trying to get you to that distortion sound that I think that he had in mind with this. So again, that's why I'm glad that I didn't do like a first impression video on this, because I was kind of thinking like, I don't know. But as I was playing with it with different guitars and noticing as I went back to just like some basic exercises and was playing around with some of that, that I was really happy with the overall tone that I was getting out of it. So not that it's a overall game changer or something that I think that I'll be using all the time, but for the price that it's at, I mean, this is excellent. The JHS pedals make their 3 series, but I think part of the deal with that, on top of having just the basic white color to them, is that they just have 3 knobs to them. So they do have drives, but it would be like uh, drive, level, and tone or something like that to it. Where this actually does have the 3-band EQ, where you're can boost and cut things, and you have the bright switch and classic there. Um, I'm sure there's other pedals in this price range, but this is a great quality pedal. It makes me really interested to try out the other one, the Triumph, just to see what it's like. I don't know that this is going to be a super long video just on this one right here, because I feel like I've kind of dialed in the sound that it's going for, and there's not a ton that we're really missing out on so far in this. What I am excited to maybe get deeper into this one with would be stacking it with other pedals. So maybe running this with different overdrives, or maybe even stacking it with a distortion, and getting into blending some of the pedals that I've used through some of these demos here. I've still got a few more that I'd like to knock out before I get into that can of worms there, because I think it's really going to start getting weird once we do that. But thank you guys very much. I know it's been a little bit since my last video. I had to take care of the holidays and stuff, but I definitely plan on continuing the pattern through 2024 and beyond. So thank you again, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.